Hey folks, how's it going? We're live, it's Wednesday, we're doing some Blender stuff today. Let's just adjust that lighting. Wait for the app to respond. There we are. Back it down to about there. Yeah, we're happy with that. Hope everyone's doing well. It's been a good week so far. Can't complain. Hope everyone else's week's been going well. Let's switch over to Blender and have a look at our rock golem. As I recall, I'm pretty happy with this animation. Certainly the first half, can't complain about that at all. Let's see about I'm not sure about the twisting back. I'd say I'm 90% happy with the second half. Still feels a little bit too quick for something that is effectively made of rocks. Need to slow it down a little bit, I think. Before that though, let's get a little bit of music on the go. So we're not listening in silence. Some lo-fi rock and metal maybe. A bit loud. Apologies about that. Wasn't expecting it to come through so loud there. How about that? That sounds a bit better. Maybe a little bit louder. Cool. We'll go with that. Okay, now a bit less. It's hard to kind of judge a volume when it's on a breakdown. I'm quite happy with that. Actually, a little bit more. Yeah, well, tell you what, let's take that down there as well. And cool. I think that's probably going to be sufficient, I'd say. Okay. I should really set these things up before I go live. I always forget. Hey Mega Burger, how's it going? Hello, want to hear something funny Windows did to me today? Still can't log in. Oh no. What's Windows playing at? Now Windows login screen actually pissing me off. Literally just turned PC on to type my password one time wrong. Suspicious activity. Are you serious? It's me, and now locked out for 2 hours. Nothing. So it's just trash. Yeah. I think I find out with a lot of stuff. Where so they try to give like enhanced security, it just becomes a major liability. And it's usually doesn't stop people from getting into systems. People still get into them. It just keeps out the people that are actually supposed to be getting into them. It's not great. Sorry to hear that's it's not playing ball for you. Linux is what I might need. Yeah, Linux is a steeper learning curve to kind of use, but at least it does exactly what you want it to do. I'm quite happy I've got access to both Windows and Linux, and both are good for their own reasons. But yeah, Windows is definitely a liability if it turns against you. The biggest thing I found with Windows is BitLocker. BitLocker on Windows. So it's designed to lock your hard drive in case someone steals it from your computer. Which, what's the likelihood of that happening? But if someone steals your hard drive and BitLocker is activated, it is completely secured. No one can access the data without your super secret BitLocker key. And the problem is, people don't know what their BitLocker key is. It's attached to your Microsoft account, and people don't always have access to that. And if you've not attached your Microsoft account to your Windows, and oh no, that's it, BitLocker's got it. I had BitLocker problems on my old laptop. Ooh. Yeah, we've had it on some work machines. I manage a lot of work terminals running Windows. Fortunately, it's only happened to a couple of machines where it's locked it. But we generally advise people not to keep any documents on their laptops, and they keep them all on the central server, and we have full security control on the servers.
How about a hug?
Hey, thank you, Megaburger, for that follow on Twitch. Much appreciate that. And the messages that pop up is to try and deter the bots. There we go. Well, we say it's not the bots don't care. It's the people acting like bots. But I might take that message off, because fingers crossed we've not had them for a long time. But thank you very much for that follow, I do appreciate that. But yeah, BitLocker, huge liability. Windows security. I got locked out of my Royal Mail account last night. And so, just because I didn't realise it has like a 5 password attempt, and then it locks you for half an hour. The thing is, it kicked me out the app, so I have to log back in. And then goes, sorry, because you don't know your password in 5 attempts, you're now locked from your own Royal Mail account. So fine, I don't need this right now. The annoying thing is I actually knew what the password was, but it wouldn't let me put it in. BitLocker could be like, yeah. But yeah, Linux doesn't have these issues, but then it's on you then to make Linux secure. Funny thing is, I typed password correctly. Yeah, it depends if it's kind of playing up, or whether you thought you typed it correctly, or maybe there's a lag on the keyboard buffer and it missed a key or didn't send the key, or yeah. That's even more annoying if you're absolutely certain you inputted the correct password and it still did it to you. Like password timeouts. I don't know how many people are trying to brute force password stuff. Used it earlier today. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, I know the lockout things is to stop people brute forcing your password, which is fair enough, but yeah, there's got to be a better way. Yeah, but it's my laptop and me, yeah. No, you should be able to turn that off on your own personal machine, surely. Like, you have it on mobile phones. Like, mobile phones will have a lockout, which I can understand if you lose your mobile phone, someone keeps trying to get in there. But I've heard of cases where, like, a child has got hold of their parent's iPhone and just keep tapping on the screen because it's fun to do. and then their iPhone's locked for like 2 days. It should be kind of like an override that's only the owner can do. But seen a kid make it 6 years. Yeah, at that point, it's it shouldn't be fully incremental. It should be, yeah, half an hour, like, or even like an hour. So okay, it's locked for an hour, or it's locked for a couple of hours, because you'd have to go back to it after 2 hours and try again. But yeah, to keep adding to the time, because I know most things go, oh, it's locked for half an hour now, an hour, then 2 hours. Which supposedly is supposed to deter people from trying to brute force it. But yeah, it just becomes an inconvenience. I understand it's a maximum 1 or 2 weeks, but 6 years, yeah. That's lazy coding on the devs' part, because they just basically put a multiplier. So it just keeps multiplying rather than go, okay, we're at a multiplier, but we've put an upper end on it, and if it reaches upper end, use the upper end, don't multiply it. But yeah, they just have a infinite multiplier. Yeah, so certainly lock it for an awkward amount of time. Because people are going to get pissed off with it, they're going to chuck it, they're not going to hold on to several stolen phones and just have a schedule of when the phone's going to unlock itself again. That seems like too much work, especially when these people just want a quick kind of access and sell and stuff. It's really not going to be useful to what they're actually up to. I'm going to tweak this animation a little bit. I'm not 100% happy with the way the right leg moves. So I'm going to tweak that, and then we'll make a new animation. Because this is kind of the... Oh, I've forgotten what somebody said it in a previous stream that I'd quite like to name. Scanning, I think it was. Scanning. It's basically, it's the mode where they're looking out for threats. So this is the animation for it looking for threats. So it's not an idle, but it's kind of like a alert and scanning kind of thing. So it's like, okay, I'm aware that there could be something, let me scan it, and then possibly within the game code we'll have like a cone of vision kind of thing. So if the player kind of enters that cone of vision, then it will change from the alert to, well, from scanning to full-on alert and attack kind of mode, where it kind of starts the attack sequence going after the player. So the other animations go up to be the walking animation, any number of attack animations, and then the transform from standing to full idle, which is just a pile of rocks, and back again. So I'm not sure whether you'd have this one animation and you play it in reverse, or we have two animations, one that is from rocks to standing, and then another one from standing to rocks. I might have to look at what they what forums recommend for such things. But let's have a look at this leg. So I'm pretty sure it is just these bones here. So as it plays, So it's frame 124. So I certainly want it to like lift its legs. I don't want it to be dragging. Because of course if it drags its feet, technically I'd have to put some kind of animation or effect on the ground. So I'm wondering whether the actual animation sequence is fine. It just needs to be slower. Because that lifting of the leg seems a little bit too rapid, because it's frame 3:35 when it starts to twist its torso. Maybe the twisting should start to happen just as the leg lifts, rather than kind of lifting the knee up and then twisting, which is quite robotic. Now, I was originally thinking of more like a robotic kind of motion, but then you'd want something a bit more organic, even though it's not organic. And it is a magically imbued pile of rocks acting in a humanoid shape. It's got to have an element of nature to it. So that's when the full twist happens there. I'm wondering if I move this sequence over a little bit. Hey bot, a rock cameo in this stream, what's up? Yeah, I was thinking of trying to model, or at least download a shape of the rock's head. But mainly for use for the catapult, because it's throwing rocks, and you could have quite literally Dwayne the Rock Johnson's head as a projectile. But I don't know if I can get away with that. Maybe under the guise of parody, especially if I don't mention who it is and someone goes, oh, that clearly looks like The Rock. It's not mentioned as The Rock, but that was something fun I was thinking of doing. It's not The Rock, it's The Rocks. Yeah, like having someone's likeness, as long as it's not the main selling feature, I think you could count it as parody. But I was still thinking about doing that. Yeah, if you don't sell the game, you can use a Rock's head, true. Or potentially have it as a free DLC. Like, sell the game, but then have a free DLC that features additional items. I know a lot of games go around any controversial content they put into a free DLC. And then it's up to the player whether they download and use that, but it's not part of the game. It's not the core game kind of thing. Then if there's any issues, then they just kind of rework the DLC and not have to rework the whole game. To my understanding, I don't know for certain, but to me that feels what a lot of game devs do. I saw celebs getting copied by AI and no repercussions, so fair game? Seems like it, yeah. I know there's a big thing of actors, certainly with actors being copied by AI, because their whole thing is so they are themselves their product. So it's a full product being copied by AI at that point. Celebrities in the whole, depending on what their purpose for being a celebrity, I suppose that a celebrity could be considered a product. Yeah, so that's where it kind of fits in the same way that, like, without their consent, though. Yeah. Yeah, I know there was a big actors strike about AI kind of being used, even kind of like if it's written into contracts and stuff. Is that now? So we do not consent in any way, form for AI to kind of reproduce us. Like I know in some of the Star Wars movies, they had consent for certain actors' likeness and sound, their voices to be reproduced, like consent from the families and stuff, like their likeness and voices to be reproduced, which is it's fair enough. So okay, the correct thing to do is to seek that consent and have it signed off. Saw a YouTuber's identity being copied, like his idea, and people millions of views. Oh, yeah. It's quite hard for creators to hold on to something without it kind of being sort of turned into a moneymaker by other people. Like you get it generally even without AI. Where people just full on rip off someone else's content, like either repost a video or completely recreate their entire thing. And it's all well, okay, the identity of what made that content what it is, it's just been completely recreated. But there's one or two creators I follow that I've mentioned stuff like that. But the worst thing is literally just downloading and reposting other people's stuff. So, come on, you didn't even do any effort. It's not even you copied it. You just say, well, here's something I didn't put any effort into creating. I've just stolen it and reposted it. But I have to be right back because the internet's usual horrifying bad. Okie dokie, bot. We'll see you shortly. YouTuber's name got copied and changed a bit. Their face and voice was copied. Their face changed though, without their consent. That is bad. Well, that's not just ripping him off. That is full-on identity theft, as you say. It's horrible. It's terrible, yeah. Okay, maybe that's better on the. Okay, see how that looks in sequence. Turn off the meta rig and see how this looks. Okay. I think that's better. I think I can certainly tweak it a bit more. Hopefully that's drawn that out a little bit. A little bit quick on the old twisty thing there. So wouldn't the movements be a little bit slower? This is a hulking thing. This is easily, I think it's about 3 meters tall. It's looking better. I'm just seeing what. Especially how smooth the movement is for the first half. Just want to get that same smoothness for the second half. Ooh, that's looking better. Now, I don't mind too much about its initial movement to the right being a little sharper. So it can almost like it felt like something was on the right hand side. There's a quick look and realises there isn't, and then kind of returns back to looking the other way. Move that a little bit sooner. I think if I move the leg movements a little bit sooner as well. Still not 100%. It's how soon the leg resets itself. It does that and then immediately twists again, so this leg rotates. Leg comes to a standstill. Leg lifts again, so it's only between frame 160 and 171, so that's 11 frames where it's staying still. I feel that should be, we double it. I think the twist is happening. So where's the twist coming from? Is it there? Reset my router, seems to be a tiny bit better. Okay, that's good. Hopefully it stays stable. Hello, I am a Jehovah's Witness. We're visiting people in the neighborhood today to share a brief message from the Bible about hope and future. Do you have a moment? No. How's it going, Jeffrey? Good to see you. New soundtrack in the background. That's great, thank you. Many people are concerned about things like suffering and the future. The Bible offers a lot of comfort in these topics. For example, this verse here gives a promise about a better future. I'm actually deaf, so no, Jeffrey. In Revelation 21:4, it says that God will wipe away every tear, and death and pain will be no more. That gives many people hope. What do you think about that? Is there an actual script for this kind of stuff? Yeah, I feel God has a lot of tear wiping to do. No, I grew up around them, so I know how they talk. Yeah, horrific brainwash cult robots. Yeah, I didn't realise quite how horrific it was until I actually speak to survivors of the cult. I actually know quite a few people, because you don't realise until they kind of talk about their past and go, "Oh, I did not realise that was." Some of these people's families are still in the cult. 12 and 21 songs for my full length now. Nice. Been working hard. I have a Jehovah's Witness friend, and he's not allowed to pray along with us Christians. Yeah, it kind of purposely kind of excludes from the rest of society, which is not great. Sounds kind of like Polyphia. It does a bit, yeah. I saw them live at Download the one year. It was a great set. This is just lo-fi rock metal. And nicely, yeah. Really enjoy them. Yeah, sort of became an instant fan. You used to play the music a lot as practice. Wow, that's cool. But yeah, if you practice using Polyphia, sort of anything else you want to play becomes quite quite warmed up for, I suppose. Location. It's just location, isn't it? Trying to work out where the twisty is coming from. Is this a twisty? This is the twisty, I think. Only one song I learned. Goat. Okay. Can't recall their song specifically. Let's take off the Messerib. Ooh, that's looking closer to what I'm after. Still feel like it needs a little delay before moving back again. How long are you planning on streaming tonight? Probably for another hour and a quarter. Yeah, I only usually do about 2 hours. It might run over a little bit. See how I'm feeling. Certainly no less than an hour and a quarter, unless something else happens. I'd like to move on to another animation for this. And twists, so from that point there, possibly even holding that position for a moment, and kind of like the head and arm moving slightly, and then returning. Because it needs to look like it's made an effort, kind of thing. So it's like probably needs to almost the whole body shift because it's lifting its leg a little bit. So the body shifts to the left, up swings, knocks over. Head kind of pans a little bit and then comes back again. So see if we can achieve that. So that spine piece there has rotation. I'll pop back later, watch 2 seconds, and it buffers. Okie dokie, no problem. You do your thing, bot. Hey, these are emotes. There they are, those are the awesome emotes. The best emotes on Twitch. Watching RuPaul's Drag Race, so I'll be AFK for a bit. Okie dokie. You enjoy RuPaul. I reckon about there, maybe. Your insert keyframe rotation. Only a slight. So if you're doing this, I do need to kind of set its other leg. We'll do it a minor amount like that. Insert rotation keyframe. So back to 0. Insert rotation. Do you know the Shags? I do not, no. It's a very special band. Okay. So in the late 60s, beginning of 70s. Oh. Sistering of 3 sisters. Oh. No, I'm not coming across them. So this mentally insane father had a mother that claimed to have 6th sense, and told him your daughter's gonna be pop stars. So he bought instruments and forced them to write songs. Oh. But they didn't know music. But it was recorded. And just imagine the sound of three people who do not know what they are doing playing instruments. Oh yeah. I sell my emotes for 2,000 so I can buy a new Mac. I don't have to find a real job yet. Here's more. I thought these are my most special and unique. Like them. Totally worth every cent. If emote selling doesn't work out, I'll go into scamming business. You could combine the two. There's people that will sell emotes, but as a scam. Great idea, yeah. Not to jinx it, but it's all. Never know anyone trying to sell me emotes for a long time. Oh, sell emotes and scam people. Funny people like Frank Zappa and Kurt Cobain found the LPs years later, decided to appreciate them for their weirdness. That's fair enough, I suppose. And so Grandma was right. They did get famous in the end. It's one of those kind of paradoxes, isn't it? That's if the prediction wasn't told, then it would never happen. I've forgotten there's a certain name for that type of paradox. Speaking of weird music, have you ever heard of the LP where Yoko Ono pretends to be a mosquito? I've not heard the LP. I think I've heard of Yoko Ono doing some weird stuff. That probably doesn't sound too outlandish. Oh, it's a fly. Same shit. Yeah, certainly to the fly at least. I don't know the difference. Is Yoko Ono screaming and doing buzz, buzz, buzz in between? Have I ever told you I absolutely hate Yoko Ono? I don't know if you have. I know you hate a lot of things. I don't think you've mentioned Yoko Ono yet. Like, I can appreciate weird music, but Yoko Ono is too much for me. Yeah, I can understand that. I have not seeked out or accidentally experienced Yoko Ono. Keep it like that. I intend to.
Epic!
I've seen John Lennon and Chuck Berry perform together. And like two iconic
Epic.
musicians playing a blues song. Very epic. Then Yoko Ono decides to join in, ruins it all. I've not come across that, no. Like, two great musicians, who say, John Lennon and Chuck Berry. I feel it's one of those things where it kind of just got her to join in because he felt like he couldn't say no. You can see Chuck Berry getting angry when she starts to sing along to his part. Ooh, yeah, I bet. Shoulder. So I reckon then this whole section here just needs to move. Each thing I do definitely improves this animation. I think I need to start the second part earlier. There's that pause between... There's a pause here, it's that arm resets to there. There's quite a few frames here in the middle where it's not doing anything, so I feel I need to move the whole thing. Still feels like the gap isn't as bad. Still there where it's lifting. So that's the lifting part just here. Okay, let's watch it again. Okay, it feels a little bit more of a Still not perfect though. Still feel like it's dragging its foot slightly here. Lifts, sits down, and it starts to twist its body before it's lifted up. So there's definitely an issue here. So the foot goes down. And it's already twisting before it lifts its foot again. Which bit is twisting? Which part is actually twisting? I've lost track of the... I want to say it's that, but... according to the timeline, that doesn't move between there and there. Yeah, it's definitely moving there, look at that. Yeah, you've got a rotation there and there. So that's default location, twisted location. And from there, it's slowly moving back. That moves quite rapidly there. And yet there's still no... Let's try copying... pasting them here. That's better. Yeah, that looks a bit better now. Move his leg back. Still not. Is it this upper one? I think it's the position of... I think it's the position of that one, isn't it? The thigh. It's the location, I think that's the issue. So the location sits there. And the location finally sits back at this point. So it's set there, moves backwards to here, and then slowly is moving. Okay, so we want to grab those. Do that. Oh, just took his time to I played a little bit of Minecraft today. Oh, nice. Didn't build anything. That's fair. What you get up to? You just kind of explore the world. But like this made sure we got 2 moments extra. Oh yeah, yeah. Just logging in. So you can play Trying without problems. Awesome. Yeah, thank you for doing it. Be a shame to lose all that work. Does that fix my issue? Let's just hide all this. Again, it's not 100%, but we're getting there. You know what, I think obviously we can tweak the fine movements of some of this, but I'm not, you know, I'm quite happy just to go with this. Oh, I've got a new band idea, but only when my serious projects are done. It's always good to have ideas in the pipeline. Mid-2000s emo style metalcore. Ooh, nice. Yeah, I am pretty happy with that animation. I'm gonna save that. You know I'm prolific with music. Oh yes. I'm gonna go save as make a new file. Oh. Copy of the file. So any changes I make from here, I'll have a backup. So it will come. Oh yeah, no doubt. Switch to Twitch. Maybe just maybe it's just maybe it's less laggy. Hopefully. Welcome back, Phoenix, aka Bot. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with this animation. It could be tweaked to infinity, but the things I was not happy with are kind of gone now. And I'm noticing other things that I could change. But I'm only noticing them because I've got it better than what it was. So I'm going to leave it at that. I can always go back and if I'm really not happy, I can tweak these again. But things, I still need to work on the texturing, but I need to do some offline learning for texturing. But I'm quite happy to start another animation now. Looking good, thank you. So I could try the Panda. Hey, couple alive, how's it going? Good to see you. Hope you're having a good week so far. Hey, look at this monster. Yeah, it's doing its thing. Nice work, thank you. Yeah, that rock golem's really coming along. Hey, Novodontis, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the compliments. I see you've been lurking on the side there. Do appreciate that. But yeah, I'm quite happy with this kind of scanning animation. Did you make this offline? Mostly made this on stream. There's a couple of bits which I've kind of looked at off stream and went, that's what the problem was, and fixed something that I was struggling to do on stream. So for the most part, I would say like 98, probably like 95% at least on stream. But I need to learn doing texturing offline. It's going to involve me watching some videos, and that's not very interesting to stream. I'm not really in for commentary on other people's content. But there's tweaks I could do to this animation, but I'm gonna leave this animation for now. I'm thinking I could either do the walking animation, or I could do an attack animation. So maybe like a swing or a kind of like a slam, or I can do the falling into a pile of rocks animation. Texture's not too bad for me. Yeah, I wouldn't think it'd be too hard, but I haven't got the workflow sort of down as to how to do it easily. So I just need to kind of just well, I see you, Phoenix, in Discord. It seems like internet won't allow me to watch the stream tonight, unfortunately. Hopefully I'll be able to watch on Friday. Any problems if we do stream? By the way, the animations look really nice from what I've seen. Thank you, dude. Sorry you can't get the stream to work. I'm liking my own thing. Can't hear you. Yeah. If you watch the VOD back, you'll be able to hear it. I'll reply. Okay, so Let's stop that animation. Now, I could try and do something simple. Well, I think a lot of things are simple. We could try... Maybe, the walking's going to be quite awkward, I suppose. Because that's going to be... Well, if I do, you could do half the walking animation and it's basically just mirror it for the other side. But again, it's lifting the legs and kind of shifting the rest of the body to kind of move the leg. And they're going down, because you think walking should be quite simple, but there's a lot of general movement. Although I don't know, because I built this meta rig sort of, well, I've modified the meta rig so it's not got all the bones, but I could apply a standard walking animation to it and see how it works. My shirt today has a naked lady on it, but all the naughty parts are obscured behind arms and things. It's very classy. Cool. I like classy and tasteful kind of artwork. I reckon let's do a ground slam animation. No, this is where I try and remember. We get multiple animations. Done it once before, my my little rock thing, but it went a little bit wrong, and I might have lost something from that. So I've definitely backed this up now, so I'm okay with that. I might have to do a quick Google to remind myself how to apply multiple animations within Blender. So of course, any animations I do for this golem, I'm going to apply to at least copy and modify to the other golems. Because the lava golem is going to look near enough identical to this one, but it's going to be kind of hot glowing rocks. Maybe the texture is going to be showing almost like the rock is slightly dripping. It's going to have an effect on it so it looks like that. And of course when it slams the ground, it's going to leave like a hot spot where it kind of slammed in the ground. It's just going to be like a little hot area which would damage the player. So once the player is used to fighting these and it comes across the lava golem, you go, okay, it's the same thing, but I have to be more cautious now. Dog walking time, okie dokie. You know, Cody got the dying Bowser Lego just now. Nice! Send you a pic when we get. Awesome. Enjoy your dog walk. And I'll see you shortly. I've always wanted to get those big Lego Mario models. Multiple. Multiple animations, okay. Also search came up, quite handy. Create multiple animations in Blender 2025. I've already looked at that video. I think that's the one I looked at before. In Shade Editor, try noise texture with a scale of 1.5 and roughness to 1. Color ramp, choose dark gray plus light gray. Principles BSDF. Like shaders I've not really looked at. Where's the shaders? Textures. I need to go. I'm in pose mode at the moment. It's in the bottom window. First icon on the left. Change the shader editor. Oh, this one. Oh, that's a little bit too. Oh, this, yeah. This is probably the more involved version, isn't it? So this is a shading environment, I suppose, isn't it? How that's really complex. Yeah, I think so. I copied the texture, so this is probably all the texture that came with. That is a lot. It's the first time I actually looked at this. So this has come from the material that I copied. I'll probably simplify this a bit. Color ramp. You mentioned color ramp, didn't you? Color ramp, choose dark grey plus light grey principles. Online shares procedural. Ooh, okay. Take a screenshot. Cool. Thank you, Cobbler. I know very little about shaders. Like, I can't even claim half of this because this was just kind of M_rock02. I just kind of copied and downloaded this shader because it's one of the rock shader or rock texture. Didn't realise it was all this behind it. I suppose to a certain extent this is kind of creating more natural texture. Which channel Discord? You can probably put it in either Game Dev or Code Crash. Code Crash I suppose more for coding. Definitely put in Game Dev then. Because Game Dev is kind of more the creation of the game, I suppose, whereas Code Crash is kind of playing around the bits, I suppose. I don't know, they don't really have much definition. As long as you can get in there, I think you can get in there, okay? Yeah, everyone can get in there. Cool, I see that post cover. Okay, so noise texture into a color ramp into the principle BSDF into material output. Okay, yeah, that gives a nice kind of procedural rock texture. That looks quite nice. I suppose what they've done with this one is they actually got JPEGs, haven't they? So they've actually got a set image. Got a JPEG there. Is that the same JPEG? Yeah, they've got the same JPEG there, and then one there. Image textures, yeah. I suppose it's procedural a bit lighter, as in it kind of doesn't have to load so much. And I suppose it makes it more what's the word? It kind of applies it more evenly, I suppose. Whereas the problem with having a JPEG is that, see the back here, where the image tries to wrap, it doesn't quite, leaves dark spots where it's trying to wrap the image. Because for procedural you need to bake it to move it to the engine. Okay. I suppose once you're happy with the way it looks, you then bake it. Which I suppose, because the texture I'm using was taken from this object here. So the hands are an object. I just basically copied the texture from the hands and we applied it to everything else, which is kind of set to be this. It won't work on any other shape than that shape. So I don't mind this shape being the original shader. Might look good because texture is based on the hand UV. Yeah, like the rest of this certainly wants to be a different. Everything else needs to be refined. Let's go back to there. So can we, because that's object. Oops. Just seeing where the shader editor, there we go. It's currently on the timeline, but we want the shader editor. Can you unwrap those objects again to avoid texture pinch point? Not sure how you did it originally. I was lazy on it, Nova. I literally just took the texture, applied it to everything else. Like, I made no effort for any of this. So I was intending to go back and do this and actually apply a proper texture to this. And so the only one that actually came with a texture were these two objects, because they're the same object, just mirrored. So I downloaded this one object, and it came with this this whole shader. So yeah, my intention was to kind of create a better looking texture for the rest of it. Now once I've got the rock texture looking okay, I wouldn't mind putting like an extra layer on top with a bit of moss, or like a little kind of imperfections and stuff that are sat on the rock. But to begin with, I need to have a decent rock kind of because this does have these do have two textures. yeah, you got top color, which has got like a greeny color, and then you got the original rock. And by the looks of it, from this shader graph down here, they are basically the same but with slightly modified shaders. Just sat one on top of the other. So I'll probably do a similar thing. Once I'm happy with the rock one, I'll probably modify it and give it like a semi-transparent greeny kind of colour to make it look like there's been stuff growing on the rocks. Like this thing could have been sat dormant for a while. And it's just decided to wake up. So I need to make a new material, I'm guessing, and then I can basically follow your guide that you posted here. So we'll do it on this one here, then we can copy it across. So if we remove okay, it has no shader. As I've already backed this up, so I don't really mind what happens with this. Okay, so we have a new shader there. So we want a noise texture. It is a generator, isn't it? Texture. Noise texture. And from the color of that into a color ramp, so we want a what's color ramp? Color ramp is going to be a color, and is it a color? So this is where I don't know hardly anything. A converter. Color ramp. So color ramp is a converter. Okay. So we have a noise texture, and that's fine there. So we have the color from the color. The noise texture goes into the factor. Shift A, you can search for nodes. Ah, awesome. Thank you. Principled BSDF. So it's the color from the color ramp goes into base color there. And then that goes from surf, yeah. Okay, so that's the connection setup. Let's set these settings to match what you've put here. So it's a 3D. But yeah, if I was using image textures, and I've done image textures on other models before. I kind of know what I'm doing with those. Where I just kind of paint it on there, and sort of. But this kind of stuff down here, this procedural, I would like to learn more, because it's kind of, once you understand how this works, it's yeah, you can just generate more even spread kind of stuff. And I suppose if you bake it into an image, it can be modified from there. If you want to be more specific, I suppose. You can grab a texture from Google Stone. I can place it as well. Okay, yeah. So I do have a library of textures. So I've got a few packages. So I do have some like stone textures. But I don't know if any of them would fit. But certainly having a base texture, or learning how to make a base texture is going to be quite useful. So we have a noise texture here. It says 3D. Roughness 1. Now your image has FBM. There's no separate box to select. The noise texture is not quite the same noise texture. Anyway, so have a look at color ramp. So about 278. You can change the color in the color ramp instead of black and white. Ooh, it's looking a little bit rock-like already there. Like dark grey and light grey, but clicking the bottom big bar in the color ramp. Okay, gotcha. 0.8. Ah, yes. Oh yeah, we want a slightly old greeny tinge to that. That works nicely, doesn't it? Okay, here's the principled BSDF. Look at you, texture master now, yeah. Yeah, so it's understanding the nodes, isn't it? You need to change the white too. Where did you change the white? Oh yeah, from there. Gotcha. Make it more of a grey. Cool. So what sort of settings do you have on? So roughness, where's roughness? You can play with the scale and noise in the noise texture. Oh yeah, there's a scale there. Oh yeah. That's pretty cool. This is bigger spot, more. This is bigger spot, more is detail. Cool. things. We don't technically want too much detail going on. Again, I'm looking at this very closely, that the player would see it from this kind of distance. So you've got 0.5 roughness, which is what I've got there anyway. Okay. I mean, you need it like way at least to have less details instead of noisy. Okay, yeah. Maybe something like that. You can see what fits your taste, yeah. It's probably the contrast between the colours will probably be a little bit sharper, because I know this is quite blurry. Although, if I deselect that, when you zoom out from the player perspective, it doesn't need to be too sharp, because you're not going to be seeing it that close. So at most the player, but the camera angle is going to be about this close at most. You can slide the colours in the colour ramp to achieve that. I feel probably have that darker still. Oops. Wanted green? Yeah, I was thinking green. Although what I'll probably do is put a second layer on the green. So I'll actually have it as a black. Then put the green on top. Yeah, it's gonna be a rock with like mossy bits. I think you can use a world direction node to apply it from the positive z-axis, i.e. green on top. Ah yes, that'd be cool. Yes, because it's going to be settling on top of the rocks. Good idea. But would you do that within the same texture? Like if I have the basic rock texture like this, would you then feed something else into this to then add on top of it, or would you use a separate texture on top? because the original texture for this rock here is two layers. For ambient occlusion, there's so many ways you can achieve this. That's what I like about no shaders. Okay. Yeah, there's so much. Like I know very little about shaders. Like I kind of started to look a little bit into it with Photoshop, but didn't get very far. And I've only basically looked at nodes in Blender before. But I like what you can do with it, because again, if you were to sit here and paint a rock texture, you could spend hours just painting textures, where I know understanding these nodes, as long as you know what's values and what methods you need, then it'll get you 90% of the way there, nothing else. True. Okay, I'm pretty... Let's take it, make that center that. So yeah, center that so it's more of a grey, and then we can do with just the green on top then. Scale down a little bit more. You know my autocorrector hug, you know my words if it's messed up there. You type how I normally think, so. So yeah, I can translate misspelt stuff because I speak it fluently. Oh, okay. You can really detail, can't you? I don't quite want that much detail though, but it's good to know I can add a little bit of detail to it. That's quite a convincing rock texture, considering it's just sort of procedural. Getting your hands dirty, huh? Okay. Yeah, just playing with this, so the more I kind of mess around with numbers, the more I can go, okay, that looks more convincing. Starting to dive deep into it, yeah. Like this is kind of how I learned to make my own dance music. I literally just had all the plugins. I went, okay, what happens if I turn this knob on the screen, or what happens if I move this slider, or I change this waveform? And I've made music doing that, just kind of feeling my way through. But yeah, I like that texture. I'm liking. It almost fits into the rest of it. So should we look at applying that to the rest of the shapes? So if I kind of like click off that, remove what was there before, then apply. You notice the hands where there's dark colour at the edges? Oh yes, yeah. That can also be achieved with ambient occlusion. Oh, well that's cool. Yeah, really need, I think I've got like a video tutorial on lots of things. I need to do removing this list of stuff is here. So. Select all with the Control L. Push in the right place. Select the last. Select last the new color. I'm selecting all objects. So select all Control L. And Control L comes up with the link transfer data. Or you mean the in the listing over here. Just click and drag with the first tool. You can select the tool with W. Okay. Okay. Like that. Right. I don't want the two arms though. Okay. Didn't quite work out that one. I should do it the new way on those ones. You can deselect with Control or Shift. How do you do that? Is it Shift? Yes, I think. Well, Shift is select. Control selects one. Shift I can select individuals within the selection. Ah yes, double click. Gotcha. Control L materials. Link materials. Make sure the last object is the color you want. Ah, okay. So that's cool. When it's highlighted with the bright yellow, it means last active. Gotcha. Okay, so they're all active. The last one I selected has the color I want. Control L materials. Okay. So we've got the link materials. Back, but watching RuPaul Drag Race, okie dokie. It's already done. Okay. I still need to go through and okay. Only the head is not. Right, because it had two materials on each object. I need to remove the second material. Cool, so they should all only have one material now. Yes. Awesome. Yeah, for some reason these hands had the two materials. So we had the base material and the overlay material. Cool. Okay, so that's now my own material. So if I change this material, everything gets updated together. And with the lighting, you can still kind of see the shape of the object. It's pretty cool. So if I wanted to do... what are we doing for time? Okay, we still got a little bit of time. If I wanted to put anything on the Z-axis, I'd like to have like a greeny tinge, or another like a greeny moss material on top. Is it best to add it to this rock texture that I've made? Feed it into like a combiner. Yeah, I think so. Okay. So I suppose the noise texture and the color ramp is what's responsible for the rock texture. So we want to leave those as they are. So I want to be able to create a new... welcome back. I want to create something new and kind of... because I have kind of played around with a combiner, that's it. I think you want to combine and then go into the base color property. Cool. So let's add a... combine color. What's combine color? Create a color from individual components. No, that's not. Let's send you the Coats new Bowser Lego. Ooh, okay. Okay, probably not that one then. So it kind of brings in texture. So I suppose I will want a I want a texture of some sort before I Well, if I get the combiner, then I can put a texture into it. So combine X, Y, Z, create a vector from X, Y, Z components. Script to script grouping, grouping layouts. So you don't want to don't want it from individual. Color from individual components using multiple models. I've sent awesome. Let's check that out. Check Discord. Cool. I just saw that pop up. Oh, that's a cool model. I'd love to have that Bowser. Ah, cool. Let's have a look at this one. Aha, okay. So we have a texture coordinate mapping separate X, Y, Z, color ramp, then into the principles. Okay, let's give this a go. Thank you, Cobbler. I'll leave this over there for the moment in case I need it. No problem, thank you. Right, so we want a texture coordinate. See if I can find it, if not I'll search. Okay, not seeing. Let's just do a search for it. Texture coordinate. And what's mapping? Mapping. We're going from the generated to the vector. And all those values are standard. And we want separate X, Y, Z, Z. And we want from the vector to the vector. And there's a color ramp. Remember the color ramp was. And we only want the Z into the vector. I don't think we need. Oh, I had the wrong thing selected. Delete that. Go back to that. See into that. Okay, so you need to combine the color here. Or is it more material output we combine? Combine colour. Because that gives us the red, green, blue. Okay, so you can actually split an output between two. That's interesting. I share So Messy work to show ambient occlusion. Ooh, okay. Thank you again. Ambient occlusion, color ramp, principles. Okay, and that kind of picks out the geometry of the shape. That's pretty cool. Yeah, thank you for all this, Gob. This is good reference material. Like, I can come back and look at these and go, ah, because that's mainly what the game dev channel is kind of what I put in there. It's kind of stuff for me to go and reference and look at. So if anyone has anything that you feel is useful for yourselves or anyone else, you always feel free to drop it in there. So with the ambient occlusion, I could shape the individual objects a little bit more and have the shader kind of pick out the detail a bit more, which is quite cool. So if I were to kind of carve into the face rock, then the ambient occlusion would actually pick it up without me having to paint directly onto the model to pick out those details. That was a cool, yeah. When that model was first announced, I was really really wanting to get it, but it's expensive. I think with this, I have to probably tell it which way is up on some of these objects, because this is supposedly working off the Z-axis, but all of them are, the Z's are not in the right place. Now it's there's a thing for setting the T-Rex next to it. I think it needs to be World Z somewhere. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Lego. Wow, that's huge. I've seen like it advertised. There's that Diagon Alley as well. That's pretty cool. But yeah, the T-Rex. Look at that T-Rex as well. Yes, also. Oh. His wife's a big Harry Potter nerd. Awesome. World Z. That's the World Z is not being set in the nodes, I'm guessing, or is it or you have to kind of I know there's a thing you can do to set apply, is it like apply rotations and stuff? Looks like Michelin due now, yeah. Apply rotation. Ah, mixed shader. Another reference. Thank you, Cobbler. We want a mixed shader, so we want another principled BSDF. And then it goes into the mixed shader, which goes into the output. Cool. Okay. So I kind of... Ooh. Big circly thing. Mix shader. Okay, so that gives the little mixer between them. Try tweaking color ramp in lower left. Aha, okay. Cool. The sharper transition, yeah. What was for dinner today? Today was a mixed mixed stir fry for me. Pork, prawns, chicken with lots of vegetables. Very nice, yeah. And I made poured a little bit of soy sauce and maple syrup. So it's kind of like sweet and salty stir fry. Can add noise in there as well to mask it, make it more dappled. Where would I add the noise? I think it would plug into the opacity on the moss material. Drop some roughness in the Invincible BSCF to kill the overshine as well. Okay, that certainly helps on that. So plug into the opacity on the moss. Yeah, good shout. Yeah. Yeah, thank you guys. This will probably take me several hours to try and achieve otherwise. The opacity. Trying to see where up the top one, yeah, the top one needs a bit more roughness as well. Yeah, because the rocks aren't supposed to be quite that shiny. So I can always go for a bit of noise on the actual texturing to make it look rougher, I suppose. But we're going for like the look of it at the moment. Am I happy with the coverage? I suppose so. Even without the noise on the moss, it does look like it's kind of just kind of sprayed on a little bit now. Although it probably would help to have a bit of noise, just to break up a little bit more. Let's make a little bit of space here. Did not like me moving that a bit. So would you put the noise onto the alpha channel? I suppose that's the alpha coming out, isn't it, rather than the actual input. We've got alpha down here. Yeah, I think I'll plug the noise into that input. Okay. Let's give that a go. Bit of learning stuff here. Noise texture. Other nodes are alpha. Ah, cool. Just seeing what difference the noise makes to it. Not seeing too much visibility on that. Certainly looks more broken up either way. If I wanted to find out, disconnect it. Yeah, definitely makes a difference. Maybe we need to Definitely at this stage it's a case of tweaking, isn't it? Oh, looking all right. I'm liking it. Certainly more work to tweak on it to kind of make it perfect on that. We have streamed for over 2.5 hours. So, might be calling it a day on that. Give that a save. Hate for it to crash now. Now I'll probably look at applying the ambient occlusion as well. Just to kind of pick out the details. And of course, when we're all happy, we'll bake it. And yeah, sorry, can't recall exactly how to do it now. Need to brush up on the shape now. That's fine. You've all been very helpful today. Thank you, both Novodantis and Copper Live. I appreciate it. But yeah, that looks far better than what we had. That's it. Happy to help. Thank you. Like, what I would like to do is probably go into this particular model for the head. Yeah, it looks nice. Oh, thank you. Yeah, probably go into this model for the head and shape it a little bit. Probably put some markings on the mesh to give it some kind of facial definition. Maybe kind of something that represents its ability to see. I don't know whether it's going to be Cyclops or maybe have two kind of eye type things. It certainly wouldn't need a mouth. It's not going to eat. It doesn't eat. It doesn't speak. So it doesn't breathe, doesn't eat, doesn't speak, so it doesn't need a mouth. But certainly something that can represent its vision. So maybe I'll cut some eyes into this, and then the ambient occlusion will pick that up a little bit easier. Especially if I put I could put 2 additional objects in where the eyes are sat, maybe like a small stone or something. Maybe rusty ring attached with a chain. Ooh, yeah. That's cool. That would certainly give it personality. But no, I'm liking that. I'm happy. Right, let's switch over to the full camera. Very cool stuff. Very happy with that. Didn't get on to doing any of the other animations, but this is a job that was on my list. I've certainly learnt something
Epic.
today. Thank you for the stream, Epic as always. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for being here. Hope you've enjoyed RuPaul. Have a good night. You too. Hope you have a good rest. So thank you all everyone for watching tonight and helping and just generally being awesome. Night. Selling modes for 2,000. Also scam. You sell the best scams. Good night, Panda, Sound Nudes. Yeah, I see all your awesome names in the viewer list as well. So even if you've not chatted tonight and you've been watching, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Both my own and others. Thank you, good night, everyone. Anything you want. I hope you all have a good night tonight. Have a good rest. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I shall be back on Friday. Eventually, we will get around to fixing everything in Revolt Overthrow. We'll put another demo out for that because I've still not actually had a chance to fix that. So Friday we'll be fixing that, and then we'll look at making prototypes for games that are going to feature our nice new rock golem. Yep, until then, have a good night, and I'll see you Friday. Good night all.